Good day, my fellow Filipino citizens. It's a new day. But at the end of the day, have you ever noticed how our economy is going? Or are you aware of what status we are in? Or are you giving a risk to better understand the things around you and the place where you are standing? Well, it's time for you to be aware, to put an eye, to be knowledgeable, and to be part of this growing economy. As of to give judgments, criticisms, and any other progressive opinions, let me therefore state and discuss the economy during the first term of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo from 2001 to 2004. Maria Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was born on April 5, 1947, a Filipino politician who served as the 14th President of the Philippines and the 12th Vice President of the Philippines from 1998 to 2001. And currently, she is a member of the House of Representatives representing the 2nd District of Pampanga. She is the second female president after Corazon Aquino and the daughter of Diosdado Macapagal. The administration under Gloria Macapagal Arroyo has pushed toward faster and rapid economic growth. In recent years, Arroyo's stance towards economic improvement since 2004 has been the Philippines re-emerge as one of the growing economies in Southeast Asia. In 2004, the Philippines economy grew by 6.1%, beating most analysts and even the government's estimates. The Philippines is still faced with the challenge of generating income internally as it has the third highest rate of remittances from overseas in the world. The trend of gross domestic product of the Philippines at market price was estimated by the International Monetary Fund with figures in millions of Philippine pesos from 1980 to 2004 has shown decreasing trend. From 5.47% in 1980, it went down to 2.85 in 2004. The Asian financial crisis of 1998 was less severely affected the Philippines than its neighbors due to the annual remittances and foreign borrowing prior to the crisis. Gross domestic product expanded by 4.4 in 2000 but slowed 3.2% in 2001 in the context of a global economic slowdown, an expert slump, and political security concerns. According to the National Economic Development Authority, gross domestic product growth accelerated to 4.6% in 2002, 4.7% in 2003, and about 6% in 2004, reflecting the continued resilience of the service sector and improved export and agricultural output. Nonetheless, it will take a higher sustained growth path to make appreciable progress in poverty alleviation. Given the Philippines' high annual population growth and unequal distribution of income, the gross national product, the sum of GDP and income from overseas, posted even more impressive annual growth rate of 5.2% in 2002, powered by a 15.5% increase in net factor income from abroad. The population grew by 2.12% from 80.08 million in December 2002. Per capita GDP increased by 2.4%, while per capita GNP moved by 3%. The per capita also increased by 1.7%. For 2002, GNP was estimated at 4.233 trillion pesos, approximately $79 billion. Total services were valued at 2.127 trillion pesos, while total industrial output was placed at 1.258 trillion pesos. Combined output of agriculture, fishery, and forestry was estimated at 592 billion pesos, while industrial production amounted to 1.149 trillion pesos. All services for the year were valued at 1.939 Philippine pesos, while total personal and standing growth 2.551 trillion pesos, while government expenses amounted to 444.5 Philippine pesos. And now let us know how did Gloria Macapagal Arroyo handle the Bachelor division and the most successful year for the economy of the Philippines during the first term of President Arroyo. The country's budget deficit reached an all-time high of 212 billion pesos, representing about 5.3% of the gross domestic product. Data from the Bureau of Internal Revenue, the government expenditure reached 778.7 pesos, while revenue collection amounted to only 566 billion pesos in 2002. In particular, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, the government main tax collection arm, missed its original target by 53.4 billion pesos and collected only 393.6 billion pesos, while the Bureau of Customs, which is in charge of tariff and import duties, missed its target by 18.9 billion pesos and holds only 96.25 billion pesos in 2002. To fund the deficit, the government borrowed a total of 264.176 billion pesos from domestic and foreign sources for the year. This was higher than in 111.807 billion pesos in borrowings the government programmed for 2002. For 2003, the government set a budget deficit ceiling at 147 billion pesos or around 4.7% of the GDP. Well, although the economy of the Philippines is too far to be compared to the first world countries, some businessmen and investors have seen our economy lead a great performance during the Arroyo administration. The Philippines was ranked at 38, along with France, South Korea, Botswana, and two other countries. On the top list were Hong Kong, Singapore, and the United States in the order. In separate report, also in 2002, the Philippines was ranked as 61st among 80 countries in the Global Growth Competitiveness ranking of the World Economic Forum. And in the United Nations Development Program was also the Philippines 77th among 173 countries in terms of Human Development Index, a gauge of standard of living. The general economy of the Philippines during 2001 to 2004. First, the Philippines faced higher oil prices, higher interest rates on its dollar borrowing, and higher inflation. Fiscal constraints limit Manila's ability to finance infrastructure and social spending. The Philippines' consistently large budget deficit on a high debt level and has forced Manila to spend a large portion of the national government budget on debt service. Large and profitable public enterprises, especially in the energy sector, contributor of the government's debt because of slow progress on privatization. Credit rating agencies are increasingly concerned about the Philippines' ability to sustain the debt. Legislative progress and new measures will rain heavily on credit rating decisions.
Great. We're not as that the majority thinks.